Alrighty, guys, bears are fighting 58,500 on Bitcoin. We do have dominance dropping right now, so altcoins are looking pretty strong. But we're getting to that nervy point, right? Are we going to lose the level? If so, there might be a bigger flush. Now, not only a bigger flush, if you look at the weekly time frame, there's a big gap, right? And the question is, are we going to do that big gap? Now, we still have weekly divergence in play. We still have, obviously, the bullish scenario in play. Altcoins are holding pretty good, so there's a lot to speak around. I'm Sheldon. Welcome to Sniper Trading. Like up, sub up, join the family. Let's go. Okay. This is where we at, guys. This is where we at. So let's jump into Bitcoin here. Right now, as it stands, we are in this important support zone. Now, there's a couple of things to pay attention here. We obviously got the level that I've been speaking around for, the last 2-3 weeks, which is the Fibonacci level at around 58,000. We've now actually had a strong red candle down. So as you could see, we had a bounce to the early 60,000s, rejecting the highs, not getting through the highs just yet. Therefore, now we've seen a strong candle to the downside. Now, what we're paying attention to, right, is we have that weekly support. And if you zoom out here, you'll see that there is a daily support area over here. And then the next area is at 53,000, if not 52,000. Right, so there's a big gap. Now, what you want to pay attention to when we get to these zones is daily closing candles, right? Because we might see a couple of wicks, a couple of things that could maybe catch people off of guard, but daily closes are usually quite important, right? And if we do see closing below this 57,000, we need to start bracing ourselves for this area over here. So let's go through the scenarios that I'm seeing. The first thing is a possible bullish double bottom, right? Which means that we are sweeping the lows again. We know the big supports over here. Maybe this is where the volume comes into play. In order for this to be a real bounce, I need to see us break up from here, right, over the next day or so, right, get here and actually get through this trend. Okay, not only that, we need to start getting up into the mid 60,000s pretty quickly. But this trend is something that I'm tracking since we are moving down, right, and we're starting to slow down. We must remember that bounces can happen in two different ways. The first way that I was speaking about is the fast bounce. So we basically come down flush, do something like that, and then trickle around. Okay, so this tends to, or what you get is the accumulation bounce, which means we drop and we accumulate, and then we actually end up going up, right? So this one is now starting to come into play, which it wasn't before, okay, which could be this accumulation shakeout phase, kind of sit at the level, get people to double think and, kind of drive you a little bit mentally exhausted, and also think quite bearish, right? Again, everywhere I look, a lot of people are saying 40,000s, which is very much a case that you can think, but also no, don't be surprised if any traps come into play. So double bottom possibility, but we need to break this trend, which means over the next day or two, we want to see a push up, and we want to see a strong push up to the next trend, right? Which is this one up here. And where we want to see ourselves in the next 7 to 14 days is on this side of the trend, right? That for me is where we want to get ourselves. Okay, so we need to keep holding the strong level. There is that support that's slightly lower down. Okay, so that has opened my radars to say, hey, we could actually drop to 57.6 and still be bullish. But anything we start closing below 57,000 daily candles, then I'm starting to prepare for the bad scenario. Okay, so bullish, we need to get over here over the next while. I'm still long right now. I'm still long on Bitcoin. I'm still long on altcoins. I'll go through those plays now. But let's quickly speak around the bearish scenario. Bearish scenario, again, as we start closing here. And that for me is that play where we can push to the downside. Now, again, guys, there could be traps at any point. It's important to pay attention day by day right now. We are fighting bottom-ish areas at any point. Even if this flush happens, we're going to hit a point where a big bounce is coming, right? So it's important to keep paying attention. But as accumulating below this level is kind of the bearish play for me. So I'm still in the favor of a bounce and bullishness, okay? But I do need to pay attention to us possibly having another big flush out. Now, what's quite interesting over here, guys, is this is very much a Bitcoin pullback right now, or catch up from Bitcoin, right? Dominance is just coming down, right? It does show us, though, when a bounce is looking to come, that we're looking for Bitcoin dominance push to the upside. But as things are dropping now, like alts are holding pretty good. So not only are we seeing like a good 24-hour drop, right? We're also seeing on the daily that, hey, the trend we're losing here and where we're rejecting, like we could be seeing this thing come all the way down to the early 50s. Right, so this is a good sign for altcoins, right? That we are seeing a distribution outside of Bitcoin. It does obviously bring into the account of Bitcoin having a capitulation. Maybe it does want to go to 50,000 or late 40,000s. Okay, but it's very likely altcoins will hold pretty good in that scenario. But when a bounce does come, we should see this go up. We'll see how that looks. Now, when it comes to altcoins itself, right, as you could see, let's just jump in here. Okay, so alts are holding pretty good. Bitcoin's back at the lows, alts are still well above over here. Now, there is short-term concern, and I do think there is another attempt Bitcoin's going to make down. Maybe we go slightly below 58,000. Again, 57,600 is kind of that important support zone. But this is indicating for me that we need to kind of see a bit of steam happen pretty quick over the next couple of hours, or we are likely to push a little bit lower on alts. Right? The key here is to get a higher low here. Let's see what happens. And the important thing here is the breakout level. Keep tracking this trend to the downside. Once we get on that side, that's when bullish comes to play. However, we are seeing a little bit of bearish concern for another push down. Right? So Bitcoin might be attempting for the lows yet again. Now, when it comes to the altcoins, I just want to show you guys the play. So again, my Bitcoin trades are looking like this. Right? I have moved my stop slightly down on Bitcoin to around the $57,300 zone, just giving it a bit of room. But this is where I've been accumulating my Bitcoin positions. Right? When it comes to Ethereum, this is where I've been accumulating my Ethereum positions. Over here. Okay, you guys know I also got some limit orders sitting a little bit lower down in the 1500s. Okay, but this for me, I've been building ETH and bigger stops, giving it space. So I'm still long on ETH right now, still building Steam. That's actually holding pretty good considering where Bitcoin's at. Right, Solana's still holding really good. So Sol actually broke out in the last 48 hours. We're retesting now, so holds the support. And we do see a bounce in the market, very likely Sol's on its way to around $90. A token I'm really paying attention to for breakouts in the next 2 days or so, once we through this next attempt, is Injective, right? Keep an eye on this big trend line there. That's one I'm paying attention to, right? We got AVAX as well. AVAX is actually battling a big resistance, so let's clean it up here so you can see it, right? What I like about this is I'm not really seeing bearish divergences in play, which is a good sign, right? But nonetheless, we're seeing a little bit of steam come into play here, so possibly a move up again with Bitcoin still being uncertain. I'm just looking at higher time frame spot plays right now and some low leverage plays with some space. But I am still quite optimistic with altcoins gaining some strength. Right? We have 𝗬𝗎 over here. Let's go through 𝗬𝗎. In the zone is where I'm accumulating. Keep eyes on these trends. We're actually not too far from some big moves, guys. Anyway, in the next 48 hours, we should see either continuation down or big bounce. So there's definitely some movement coming into play. Let's go here to render as well. Another one that I'm accumulating in these zones over here. So guys, last line of support for me. All right, this is where we need to see bullish momentum. We start to lose here. Again, I want to be stopped out on a whole bunch of positions and start preparing for more downside. But I'm still bullish right now. Until that level is broken. Just see that we are starting to form some liquidity at 61,000. Gives an idea of the size of the bounce. Let's zoom out a little bit more. There's a little bit of 59,000. Let's see where liquidity is sitting. Okay, we have more here at 61,000. Okay, and look here, guys, there is liquidity at 57.9. So that could be an interesting little flush. And then we have more here at 61,000. So very likely once we're through with this flush, we'll see a push at any point to the $61,000 zone. Lots of love, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next episode. These are back in action. I've been busy with a challenge on Banter, but these shows are back in action. Subscribe up, like up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.